the meantime, I found a recent coolant leak after driving, and my overflow tank was just empty, completely empty. So before I even started driving last week for 45 minutes, went to a car meet, it was bone dry. So I was like, that's a little concerning, but I figured if I had enough water, which I do, we should be good to get there and back. So drove there, no real issue, until we were about 10-ish minutes out. And then I just looked down at the gauge and it's showing 200 degrees. So I'm like, that's way too high, way higher than it should be ever, especially when we are running with no thermostat. So with that in mind, knew something was up. So at that point, pretty much just kind of pulled over as close as I could. Got up to about 210, I think, at the end of the day, once it was all said and done. And yeah, checked the same thing, empty. I didn't have any water on me at that time, so I went across the street, got some got some water from a gas station, threw that in, and then we were good for good for a while. Once the meet was done, I started driving back home. Same scenario kind of happened. So once I got close to home, I pulled over, filled it up again, made it home. So we were good at that point. But now it's time to take these splitter essentially off, the fake splitter off, and then we can investigate further where this leak might be coming from. Traditionally speaking, I would think it would be coming from back here. But the leak that I saw seemed like it was coming from the front. So maybe just it's the radiator. I don't know. It's something under pressure is where it seems like the issue occurs. Because when it's just sitting here, it's fine. But when it's under load, that's when I'm guessing it's leaking or pushing water out of something. I don't see anything coming out of the head gasket. So we're looking good from that standpoint, at least, which is great. But yeah, so let's get into it. All right, we got the splitter back out again. So based off what I'm seeing, this is what I was looking at before, where you can kind of see the watermark that was in the center line. But you also can see it's pretty wet back here too. And you can also see that when you look underneath it to see visibly that it's just been wet overall and historically. So with that said, yeah, now we can get underneath the car and see what the hell is going on. So I bought, just to catch you guys up, because I can't remember where I left off. It's been, I think, a month or so. So I bought a soft top, another soft top, just because it's already more complete. It already has everything, the rain guard and all that stuff attached, and I'm going to use that as a base for this one, just so I can make them the same. I have all the stuff for this one. It's just not together yet. So it's on, but it, it's not 100%. So probably going to swap it for the black one, so that way it'll be red and black. Cool. But aside from that, yeah, man, I mean, if I'm just going to do the exterior of this car, it's not really going to take much to paint it, I guess, at the end of the day, just to kind of scuff it up and whatnot. But yeah, that's just what's kind of rambling through my mind. It's not a priority by any means, but just what's going through my head. So I'm going to leave these pieces off. I have them, but I'm going to leave them off. So we'll worry about that another day. Eventually, I'll take this off so we can get that out of there and then swap the other soft top on. Cool. The only real difference between the soft tops is just this one's glass and this is the plastic one. So yeah, I would prefer the glass, but it's not ready yet. So we'll get to that another time. For now, we are going to basically get into just swapping the brakes. The brake rotors are, here, let me take the wheel off and then we'll talk about the brake rotors and where we're at. Okay, back to it. So essentially, these are I'm assuming the original brake rotors, and they're not good. So we need to get those swapped out. And then the brakes look like they're okay, but we're just gonna swap them out as well, just so we don't have to worry about it. And then, yeah, we'll do it on both sides to make sure everything's good. Since everything else is kind of questionable, with the car and how things have been the whole time I've gone through it. But yeah, let's just swap these out real quick. This side, put it up on the other end, and then, yeah, we'll go from there. I would have this, securely on a jack, but I am using that for other stuff. So we'll talk about that in another video. But aside from that, let's get to this. All right, having the time of my life here doing these brakes, but essentially where's it at? The slider, of course, was just locked up, didn't want to come out. So I yanked the whole thing out eventually and it finally came out, but it was stuck in the piece and this is rounded off now. So luckily we have another set. So replace that. Now we're back together again. Everything's put together. Now we can go to the other side and do the same thing. I'm sure we'll have to adjust the e-brake again, just to make sure it actually locks like it's supposed to. But aside from that, this side is done. All right, and now we're back together with Chanel. So we just need to basically get our temp sensor in, which is right here. So we basically just need to get this on the back, which I'll have to take all that stuff off just to get back there. But my reroute that I have, there should be a little port on the top, which should hopefully match up with this, and we should be good to go. So let's go ahead and knock this out. This way we can actually have temperature gauge officially, since the gauge in our cluster does not appear to be working for whatever reason that is. Assuming the sensor is just faulty or there's a cut wire in this injector harness. One of the two is happening here. So either way, we have a temp gauge, so we're just going to use that. So let's go ahead and knock this out real quick. Of course, we have to drain everything first, which is the unfortunate part. This is when I wish I would have bought stuff before, but here we are. So let's knock this out real quick. All right, I apparently need more tools because I only have an Allen wrench that was in the right thread pitch, the right sizing for the block off piece. But either way, don't need it anymore because now we can throw in our little temperature sensor. So this will be for the AAM gauge, which I've had this coolant reroute thing forever, just have not had a need for it. So I'm glad Chanel is at least getting the need and use of it. So this, we'll just get some Teflon tape, throw it on there just to keep it extra sealed, and then throw it in there, refill it with water, should be set. So this will be an easy fix to at least see what the temperature is so we can go on longer drives and everything while we eventually figure out what's going on with the temp gauge, the stock temp gauge, because that would be, you know, ideal to have, but this will definitely solve that issue. All right, Tefloned up, and now it's time to go to its new home. I'm just gonna actually thread it all the way in, get everything hooked up, and then we should be good. This is gonna be way easier than when I put it on that car. That car, I drilled it into the reroute head piece, which, yeah, you could buy something completely different for that today. So don't need to do all that, but yeah, just whole process. So we'll dump all this in there, fill it back up, start it eventually, and then let it warm up, do its thing, and make sure it's not leaking back there, and our temp gauge works. All right, we got both cars. Well, first car started. This car we're gonna get going here in a second, just to make sure this one gets warmed up and see if we can get the temperature. The temp gauge was not showing actually anything, which I was kind of surprised about. Oh, there it goes. It was too low before, so maybe not, I don't know. It's doing some weirdness. So we'll give it some time and see if it catches up or plays around or does something, but let's get this one going so we can find out if we have a leak somewhere. So we got both cars going. Everybody's warming up. We'll see if which one, if either is gonna leak. Assuming this one's gonna leak. All right, we got action over here. We have found a leak. Let's see where this is coming from here. Turn the light on. Where's it coming from? Looks like it's from above. Okay. Where would you be leaking from above? Okay. I assume there's a trail because I see the drip. There's got to be a trail from somewhere because there's no water over here unless it's a freeze plug. Let me see what I can find. I think I found the problem. Took me a little digging, but it looks like the intake manifold itself is become loose partially. Some of the bolts look like they've backed off, so that there's coolant ports behind that that are blocked off. So if they're not, you know, tight, they'll leak. Makes sense. So let me give you an idea. So example A, right here, that little bolt right there, which you probably can barely see, it's backed out. It's not flush up against the thing like it's supposed to be. So, and there's another one under here. I don't know if you'll be able to hear this. Stand by. That is a washer that is underneath that as well. That is loose, which it looks like that's where the coolant's coming from. So, thought I used Loctite before, but we're definitely going to double check and use some red Loctite to make sure these don't go anywhere because this is just vibrating everything loose. So, we'll do all that, but that probably is best case scenario. All right, we got all the wheels and tires for the 6 wheels back and ready to go. Okay. So now we can go ahead and put these all on Chanel. She'll be 6-year-old up. We'll be good to go. Got my little helper here, so appreciate you. But yeah, let's knock this out so we can change this whole look entirely. Yeah, are you gonna help me? Cheese. So we have the 6-year-olds on Chanel, and they look just as good as I remember. Overall, besides the shiny part versus just all black, I mean, even then, still looks great. So I may paint them, I may not. I may not care that much, but it's pretty much time. We just got to put the windows back in, get the tune going, and then we can really just figure out what's left to get going and driving on it. But aside from that, yeah, man, we're looking good. Look at this thing. 15 by 8. It's on coilover, so it could be lowered, but more to come. All right, last little thing I'm doing for Chanel, swapping over the coolant sensor for the gauge cluster from, Brutus into Chanel. Only because it's not seeming to work on that car. So I'm not really sure if it's the sensor or something else. So I'm going to swap over the one I know is good over that, since we have to bleed this one anyway. Kind of the perfect timing for it. So bleed this, bleed that, swap those over, and then test to make sure that one works. And then we need Loctite everything on this. We'll probably do the same thing on that, Loctite everything, red Loctite, just so we don't have any concerns of either one. Shake it off, because we got some motor mounts, which are not over here. All right, cool. So as we work through Chanel, it's time to put the windows back in again on this side. So obviously we took all this off before, but what I have done is threw a bunch of grease in there. Same grease I used before for that car years and years ago. Still works really, really well. And it just gets rid of all the old 30-plus-year-old gunk grease that's in there. So would recommend. I've had this tube, I don't know, basically almost as long as I've had that car. So, and I feel like it never ends. So essentially, grab a glob of that, throw it in here, and just work your way up and down, up and down, up and down, all the way until all the grease is worked through. And it is probably one of the better mods to do for if you love Miatas and you want to keep it for a long period of time. This will just make life so much easier. So we're gonna put both windows in. I was unable to find another piece here for that, so I will need to replace that, or the next owner will be able to replace that themselves. Window still rolls up and down with no issues, so we'll probably just keep going, throw everything else back in here, and then call it a day. And then we can focus on all the other things we need to focus on. But this car is really coming together. I really need to buy new tires. That is a must. So I'm gonna just drive these as best I can for as long as I can. That side is already leaking. Just really, really old tires, man, like 8-year-old tires. So you never really know what you're gonna get into with that. But for now, let's just throw these windows back in there. Put this in there, roll it down, put it in there, and then I think there's one more location for that, but can't recall off the top of my head. So we'll just try and get every track we can cleaned up, looking good, re-greased. And we got the windows all the way in again, so doing good there. Nice and quick, no complaints. Going up and down now, so much better in comparison to what it was. But yeah, just need to finish up some of that stuff. And that's it. We can get into drive finally and enjoy it. I definitely need to replace these tires though. These are really, really bad, really, really old. So I need to get the proxies on. I'm gonna basically burn through these, drive on them for a little bit just to get rid of them, and then flip over to the proxies once everything's perfect, take it to the track, away we go. But we're good to go now, finally. And just like that, back to the end of another one. Chanel's back together again, finally running properly. We still got to clean up kind of the interior side as far as the wiring, all that goes. I'm probably going to replace all the vacuum lines too, just so they're basic vacuum lines at this point. But yeah, we're good to go. So now it's time to just take it on a nice long drive. Might even be one of the next videos, just take it on a drive and then enjoy it, see how it does. I put some water wetter in there too, just to keep it down temp-wise because summer's coming. And hopefully I'll be able to drive it a little bit during the summer, but it won't be much because it's going to be hot. But I'm rambling. Like, comment, subscribe, man. Catch y'all on the next one. Peace.